Hello and welcome to the Leadership Enablement and Development Podcast, a new initiative from Nirveda. This is the show for leaders all about leadership and its impact. On this episode, have you ever struggled choosing between feedforward and feedback? Well, that's exactly what we are going to help you with on this week's show, where you will learn how and when to choose between feedback and feedforward. I'm your host Sudhakar, a certified executive coach. The importance of feedback is running a successful business and shaping good business leaders cannot possibly overstate. However, not much has been documented about the impact of feedforward and the changes it can bring to a leader's character. In fact, many leaders swear by the significance of feedforward in their development and regard it to be more useful than feedback. So what is the feedforward? Very simply put, rather than providing positive or negative feedback, feedforward consists in providing future-oriented options or solutions. Let us look at some examples. Next time you perceive a curve in the road ahead, I suggest you slow down before the curve and accelerate when you are in the curve. Try that and see how it feels. For the next meetings, I suggest you agree to have Suresh pick you up on his way here. He always manages to arrive a few minutes early. This feedforward type of comments can advantageously replace positive or negative feedback on the way a given person has managed past behavior, such as, for the examples above, poorly handling curves while driving or coming late to meetings. In a large number of personal and professional situations, implementing a feedforward communication technique offers a number of obvious advantages. Feedforward is solution-oriented, providing clear indications on how to solve a problem without offering positive or negative criticism. Feedforward is future-oriented, avoiding comments on past behaviors or results that indeed cannot be changed. Feedforward is a behavioral or focused on precise actions rather than on general principles, such as in the above example, you drive dangerously or you are always late. Feedforward is not judgmental. Feedforward is empowering, very simply offering optional avenues for improvement or for autonomous development. Feedforward is respectful and help reinforce positive and partnering relationships. Feedforward is participative as it allows all involved persons practical means to help solve potentially repetitious negative experiences. Feedforward helps resolve conflicts by positioning relationships in a positive and supportive dimension. Feedforward paves the way to prepare for future shadow coaching. As in the above situation, here is a curve coming now. Do you want to test how it feels to slow down before the curve and then accelerate out of the curve? Now let us look at how feedforward scores over feedback. While feedback asks the people to take a step back and analyze the happenings of the past, feedforward encourages the person to look into the future and play an active view of things. Among the few other things that make feedforward a fantastic development mechanism is that anyone can offer you a constructive feedback or feedforward, including the people who do not know you or your activities. From the giver's point of view, also, feedforward can be an excellent way to express his thoughts without sounding negative. As a leader, this tool can help you to be constructive and not critical. While expressing your thoughts, an instance can be when, rather than telling your subordinate what was wrong with his performance in the last project, you can tell him about what he should do in his next project. In short, you can turn your feedback into positive guidelines for the future in the form of feedforward. Having looked at feedforward, now let us look at when feedback works. Feedback has a special characteristic. It can be extremely precise. Despite its significance, feedback remains an underused tool in business organizations. It usually works best in organizations where the executives seek feedback on their own rather than being forced to take feedback. For a leader trying to get the best out of his subordinates, feedback serves as a great tool since it can groom the leaders to future by pointing them where they went wrong and can improve. As long as you, as a receiver or provider of feedback, are taking it constructively, the feedback can only give you a positive outcome. Let me conclude by saying this. For many leaders, developing such a new communication habit can be quite a strain. Formulating future-oriented feed-forward comments, requests, or advice in the place of positive or negative feedback will almost feel like a mind bender. This is the initial period when the mind seems to be struggling to wire new synapses. The effort to instill new thought process and linguistic habits can be physically draining too. Gradually, however, as these new mental rules are tested, used and developed, they will become more comfortable and start feeling like new habits. After a few weeks, the new behaviors will start feeling natural. They will have become automatic responses on new habits. The change process generally takes a little over 22 days. This is very natural learning process. What may come as a surprise is that many people will respond very positively to the proposed feed-forward requests, advice or options. Culturally, many of us have developed negative anticipations or even fear concerning possible reactions others may have to our behavior-oriented feedback. That is why we often avoid mentioning difficult issues altogether. When we change our communication process, from offering feedback to offering feed forward, however, we still have remnants of this negative anticipation. It can be quite a surprise when people are thankful for new future-oriented, positive, constructive options. After practicing feed-forward skills with others for few weeks, you may start feeling that your own general perspectives are changing. You may notice that gradually you look more for solutions than focus on problems, that you are more centered on future options than on past issues, that you are more centered on possible actions than on analyzing what happened that went wrong. In general, you may have shifted to look a little more forward than looking back. In this way, you will have developed a little more of a coaching perspective in the way you live your relationships and your personal and professional life. Thank you all for tuning in. Do visit our website www.nirveda.com. Would appreciate if you subscribe to our podcast, like it on iTunes, and share it to your fellow leaders. Also, don't forget to leave your comments. It would be one of the greatest motivators for us to bring in such informative episodes in the future.